That's going to come in time.
It's just like the PMA, you actually have the,
Medicines will have to be regulated, there's no question of that.
yeah,
Because you go to any of, we've been to several practitioners in London, and they come up with this, that and everything else. But one thing they don't ask you is if you're taking any other medicine. They dish out the herbs, but they don't ask you if you're taking any medicine from your doctor. That can kill you. They do not ask. They have to be taught what to do.
Well, that's education again, isn't
Today,
it?
modern science, we're lucky enough to have DNA and everything else. We can look at plants and see where they all come from and everything else. And I said to a man from the Chinese government a couple of months ago, I said, I believe that probably years ago, there's a very good chance that your ancestors died because of toxicity of taking herbal medicines. And he looked at me, and I thought, he might have not, I said to him, he probably took them, he probably didn't die in a week, but he could have died through taking them for 30, 40, 50, 60 years. And now we're capable, we can look at it now, we can look at all those sort of things and see what we can mix together, look at the toxicity that lives. Some plants are toxic, we know things, we can go out there and eat some, it's like rhubarb, you can eat the stalk but you can't eat the leaf because it will kill you. We know that, but in moderation, little small doses, things can do wonders. That's what it's all about. Technology. I don't think Chinese medicine will be wiped off the board, none of it. It's just with modern ways we can look at plants and everything else and say, they mix 17 together, like the gentleman said at the end there, and 3 of those plants were very significant, the others weren't as strong in their oils and everything else. And
I think
we'll get there
some
in the
of
end.
this is all about mutual respect for Western conventional medicine and the traditional remedies that are available and the practices that take place that have been going on for thousands of years. There should be this mutual respect and mutual understanding, and the education comes in with that. That's my
Everybody has a
personal
great
view.
respect for Chinese medicine, but now we're able to look at it in a different light.
And also teach. I mentioned about teaching the conventional medical system, the clinicians. There are quite a few I know of who would be willing to say to their patients, "Well, have you ever tried?" But because they have the lack of knowledge, they are fearful of saying to their patient, "Have you ever tried going to see a traditional Chinese medicine medical practitioner or trying this medication?" It's educating them, and I see some of the results of regulating the product, almost the end result, by providing the patient information leaflets, by providing the supporting evidence. Then your conventional doctor can review that information and say, well, actually, this is going to be really safe to take with whatever the conventional medicine is. Or they may feel like picking up the phone to someone down the road, Chinese practitioner, and say, what do you think? And then you start talking together. But all the time I keep hearing, there's TCM in one camp and then there's conventional in another, and the two don't talk.
yeah, the antagonism. Yes, yeah.
And that's some of that, I've got to say,
But
is
in
down
China,
to the regulators.
in
but-
China, actually, they do talk.
Okay, I'm talking about Europe.
Yeah,
here.
I know. But what I'm saying in China, they in hospitals, they do work
Yes.
together.
But I think we need to
West-
encourage
yeah.
this.
But there are two different aspects. I mean, if I go to a Chinese herbalist, and I do, and he or she prescribes me a mixture, and we have a discussion about it, I take that Chinese herbal mixture. I don't have a problem. And I generally recover from where I'm suffering as well. But if I went out to the chemist, the pharmacy, and there was a box there and it said, this will cure your shoulder ache, I wouldn't believe it, actually. Not today. And that's the problem. I believe going to a Chinese herbalist, but I don't believe picking up a packet from the pharmacy, because so much the content of that packet, it isn't actually true, unfortunately. And that's why it needs regulation. So those aspects, those are products that you buy. If it says this will improve your shoulder pain within 3 days, I want to get to the point where I believe that, to the same degree that I go to a Chinese herbalist. So I think that's where we're, hopefully we'll get to.
Paul?
Yeah, I just would like to respond to this gentleman. You're speaking about a few practitioners in London. I don't know about your curriculum in the UK, but in the US curriculum, we have a 4-year curriculum, and a third of it is biomedicine, and we are taught to be very cognizant of what patients may be taking, not just biomedicine, but also nutritive supplements, what their diet is like. That's a complete intake. Also in the United States, we have intake forms in hospitals that look at what are the herbs that the patients are taking. Because I was mentioning earlier in my presentation that there are now software packages that look at herbal biomedical interactions. It's not complete, but it's a start. And they can be used in palms and little personal, what are these called? They're called PD something.
PDAs.
PD, thank you. PDAs by any clinician, be it a Western clinician or a heterodox clinician.
Yeah.
So I think there is an answer to this, and it's not just, well, their educational system is all off. I think that people have to be aware of the technology that's currently developing, and it needs to be further developed and made accessible to all schools of thought.
Are we
Time?
time?
It's 6:35. I don't like it. Stay here longer.
No, it's been a fascinating conversation.
Yeah.
And thank you all for holding out